We have not seen, and I do mean not seen, a lot of this dipshit in a while. This is so. There's a problem Republicans have right now. That whole day one shit you were hearing from Trump, has not worked out. Not at all. It has. It's been more than a day, and still Ukraine and Russia continues on. Obviously, not all the hostages are back. They didn't come back on Saturday from Gaza, and obviously, in like the cost of groceries, Trump's third favorite word after Jesus and money and tariffs, is that hasn't come down. The cost of groceries hasn't come down. The price of eggs is going up. Whatever. So the truth about inflation sounds to me like this asshole might be making some excuses for Trump. Yes? This sounds like cleanup on aisle Trump. Let's see. It says the major difference between the Trump and Biden economies. Well, eggs were like $2.50 a dozen, and they're like $8 right now. Is that a good start?
Well, I got to tell you, I think the left just doesn't know what to do.
Well, I know you would call me left. I don't necessarily buy into the left-right paradigm idea. It seems odd, especially considering you and Russell Brand and Jimmy Dore overlap quite a bit. So again, I think it's more like a clock, and you guys are about 2 minutes to midnight all the time. But I will say, am I too quiet compared to this guy? That I know exactly what I'm doing. For the record.
They are on the ropes. And then you put somebody like David Hogg in as, well, I mean, what are you thinking?
Oh, in the DNC, right.
Vice chair of the DNC?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking he's a guy who was directly affected by gun violence. He grew up being a political activist. He's been great at fundraising, and he's got a great story to tell, and he's great at organizing. He's basically grown into an organizer in that regard. So I think actually it makes a shit ton of sense.
They've learned nothing.
Nothing.
I think they're just panicking right now. And there is a reason to believe, if we're being honest here, that the American people are fickle, and they usually just run out of gas for whoever's in office. And you can't look ahead and think, okay, this is 40 years of success ahead. They're going to do something. Right now, they're flailing, though.
Yeah,
but we're 3 weeks into this. We need to remember.
But you also have to...
Okay, Stu's making the point that everything, what goes around comes around, and there's no guarantee that Trump's going to automatically just like clean house, and that Democrats are going to be out in the field losing their mind forever, which is what Glenn is kind of presenting.
Remember,
and by the way, I don't see Dems panicking at all. I think right after the election, I think a lot of people were apoplectic about it, needed a break. I think a lot of people were getting enraged as a lot of this shit started, especially around what Musk is doing. But I don't see people like, as a matter of fact, I'm very proud of you, audience, if I may say so myself. I have seen an incredible, I've seen the whole exhaustion storyline dry up. And I'm really happy to see that. That so many people who during Trump and during even during the election to some degree were going, oh God, I'm exhausted by that. I'm exhausted. This is exhausting. And I'm hearing less and less of that. And I'm very proud of you. I know what work is, and I know it can be overwhelming at times. But like everybody, this like the sort of self-victimization has dried up very quickly, and I'm very happy about that. And I think it's a turn for the better, but I think it's a permanent turn. I'm being hopeful, as I often am. So here we go.
That it wasn't too long ago that books were being written how the Republican Party will never come back.
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah, they haven't though. I mean, MAGA turned into a political force that bullshitted a bunch of people and got into power, but it wasn't so that the Republicans could come in and live up to the credo of conservatism. They've been kicked to the fucking curb. You guys spend more time attacking rhinos than you do Democrats, quite frankly, which is also one of the reasons why you think Democrats aren't doing anything, because they're stepping back and letting these assholes fight, which I believe is a smart tactic.
It'll be 100 years of Democratic rule.
There was a book, was it James Carville that wrote it, about how Republicans would be a regional party only?
Yes.
I'm going to come down here. We see these Republicans come down there. They don't got a raccoon's chance in a whorehouse of finding it out some way. If you got it, let me tell you something. That cricket cannot fiddle, and nobody can tell me different. Right.
Yes.
This is after Barack Obama's 2008 election.
Mm-hmm.
The 2010 election was the biggest wave election in 100 years.
Yeah.
That's how fast this stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring that up because it sounds very close to like since around the time of the Civil War.
Can dry up. So this is why I'm so encouraged by what Trump is doing here, in that we are at a situation that he's realizing that he doesn't maybe have the longest road to do all of this stuff.
Oh, shit. You mean you agree with me, Stu, that the dude's probably going to keel over?
He's got to get it done, and hopefully it works and excites the American people.
Hopefully.
We don't lose the House, for example, in 2026, which is usually what happens.
But you have to have somebody competent to run, somebody who has...
Not during the midterms, you dumbass. That isn't about the presidency. That's one of the reasons why it shifts, stupid.
Vision. I mean, when you're putting in as your vice chair David Hogg, it doesn't show,
it's a somewhat meaningless role, but still.
I know that, but still,
No, not but still. Fuck you. Dude was in one of the most well-known mass shootings at a school, has been an activist ever since he was a fucking kid because he almost died that day and his friends did die. And he's been working on these things and building a groundswell and being involved in these kind of issues ever since. He was thrust into activism by a tragic event. Fuck you, Glenn.
Shows me that you're still on the same message.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody yesterday. Do we have that picture of the front of Rockefeller Center? This is one of the buildings in Rockefeller Center. Pull it up if you can online. And it is a glass cutting of the front of Rockefeller Center.
Did David Hogg do it? Like it was fucking Groundhog Day?
You have it?
They are working on it.
Okay.
They are working on it, Glenn.
Okay. There it is. So it's hard to see, but see, there's two horses.
Yes, and a man and buttocks. Yeah, I can understand why you were just sitting there and you were staring, and you were like, "Damn!" And you kept telling yourself, "Look at the horses, Glenn. Don't stare at his damn." And you just kept looking at the naked ass up there, and you were like, "Damn!" Tell us, Glenn.
A strong guy, naked, standing, holding those horses back. He's standing on a chariot, and the two horses are being held back.
Looks like he works out.
Or, and again, held back. I mean, I would argue that he's got reins on the horses, and they are leaping and running. Hold on one second. I don't know why this is such a shitty picture of this. So, Rockefeller, whoops. Is he the Rockefeller? That's you? Is it celery too? Rockefeller Center, carving, man with horses, whatever. Okay. Story of mankind. That's the Rockefeller Center. Art Deco bas relief. The thing. Let me look at the images on this real quick. It would be okay. There's a lot of Art Deco in this. This is the flag. Rockefeller says the Pegasus. Yeah, there's a lot of like Apollo kind of shit. Okay. How about this? Rockefeller Center carving man. Chariot. Yeah. Swing low, sweet chariot. Coming for to carry me. You can't keep me here, Chief. Maybe I'm not going to keep you here. Maybe I'm going to blow your brains out. Well, I'm no lawyer, but I do believe that's a violation of my rights. So Rockefeller Center, glass carving? Glass carving. Why is it not showing? Why am I not seeing this shit? I'm seeing a lot of Greco, Art Deco, nude kind of stuff. Where is this? All right.
Oh,
And there is a sunrise right in front of the horses, and you'll see
Okay, right. Okay, Rockefeller Center, man, chariot, horses. Whoops, motherfucker. Why is this hard? And horses. No, that's a Pegasus again. I wish he would just say where the fuck this thing is. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe it's not in Rockefeller Center and he just put this fucking name there. So stupid. Okay, anyways.
the youth in front of the horse.
Sorry, he's describing the whole thing and they're only showing part of it. That's what annoys me.
See, there's two horses, and then the strong guy, naked, standing, holding those horses back. He's standing on a chariot, and the two.
Well, I mean, if you're freeballing it, you don't want those. You don't want those horses running wild. Let's see. Car. Let's see. Riding horses, carriage. 4 horses, carriage. Okay, that's not it. Chariot, man with horses, carving, something like that. Carving. Yeah. Yeah. Where the fuck? I mean, it looks pretty significant, unless it's tiny. Is it one of the small, insignificant ones? And because there's a bunch of this. Okay, here you go. See what I mean? There's like all this Art Deco shit. Wisdom, knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. That would be this kind of stuff. And then there's hold on. There's this big Atlas thing, and then there's the flying boy, and there's Atlas, and there's flying boy, and there's Atlas, and the flying boy, and the naked flying boy, and the flying boy, and then there's Atlas, and then there's the peekaboo at the Met, and I don't know what again, these are all I'm looking for carvings about this shit. Ugh. Show the whole picture, you asshole.
Horses are being held back.
looks like he works out.
And there is a sunrise.
And I believe that's Stu quoting Dumb and Dumber. So point Stu for that. Not only has he undercut Glenn Beck's joy today, so he gets points for that, but he also gets points for quoting Dumb and Dumber.
Right
Now, I don't know how you work with Glenn Beck and lines from Dumb and Dumber don't just come backward. Yeah.
front of the horses, and you'll see the youth in front of the horses, kind of leading the horses. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So what this means is this is the socialist movement, the Democratic
What?
Party. This is
Hold on. Now, granted, as your duly designated Democrat and as the deep state himself, I will say this is a fairly good depiction of what I look like naked from the side, from that angle. I got those of you that have seen Queer as Folk know that I've got quite the tuchus, and it's even more muscular now. So, I guess if he's saying this is the Democrats, guilty as charged. I don't know what to tell you. It sure as shit isn't the Blaze. See, this is the Blaze. Everybody at the Blaze is, because it'd be like Jabba the Hutt, and it'd be like that little guy as opposed to horses.
the horses represent industry.
And this is how the Illuminati and the Jews hid their meaning in Rockefeller Center, and, well, fuck me.
The strong man in the chariot is the government.
Yes, the deep state. There's a reason why they call me the deep state, and as a matter of fact, it has a lot to do with why they couldn't carve me from the front. This is so fucking dumb.
And it's holding back the reins of industry. It's got industry completely in its grip and control. And the youth of tomorrow lead us into the sunrise.
Or it could be that the government is riding the chariot pulled by industry, which is the force of growth in the country that will allow the children to have a prosperous future.
It's in the new chapter. This is socialism.
No, it isn't. It's a concrete ass. What it is, you weirdo.
This is what they're still offering us. Where Trump is saying, no, we don't want the strong guy in the chariot.
First of all, Trump thinks of himself as the strong guy in the chariot. It's at Rockefeller Center. Trump probably walked past this and envisioned, like, that's me. That's basically me up there, except I'm glad they carved off the abs and, so that I don't, that guy could probably see his penis.
We don't want that. And we just want competent people. I don't care if they're 12.
All right. God damn it. Fuck you. What? Okay. Chariot carving, Rockefeller Center. There's one called Progress. That's this one. I don't know what the fuck this is. This is apparently the childless cat lady stepping on America's bald eagle on her way to feed industry an acacia tree branch. Straight up masonry, folks. That's what that business is right there. Okay. See all the art. Yes. Where's the guy? There's the guy with the thing, and there's the old dudes, and there's some Egyptian stuff, and there's the lady with the dog and the thing. There's the people of the earth. There's the Atlas. There's Naked Lady. There's the nice to meet you, Sam. How you doing? I'm doing all right. Excuse us. We're having naked fun time underneath the giant torch of sex and love. This is the love sexy. This is of course MAGA kicking the earth while the devil plays footsie with it. Cornucopia plenty. That would be that's the dance drama thing. Lots of naked ladies. Oh, there's a dude, but I got him tucked, I think. Exterior elevator. The fountain. Nope. Aztec something or other. More nude things. There's a lady. The thing. This is a little. The Gaelic. You got some Irish. Perched above the entrance of La Maison Francaise, this massive, majestic figure symbolic of the French freedom as she proclaimed liberté, égalité, fraternité. I'm going to need a copy of these for later. What are you doing, Sam? Nothing. Is that a sickle? What are you, some kind of fucking commie? No, you're like, I'm a fucking agrarian farmer. Back then, we actually used these things. What do you mean you actually use it? Yeah. You wouldn't happen to have a hammer, would you? What? I'm fucking with you. Relax. By the way, quality website there, kids. The industry is just, there's just a tit and a bird. That's my favorite. What's your favorite sculpture at Rockefeller? Tit and a bird. I tit and a bird. May I have some more, Lord? What do you mean more? I gave you a gold halo. You want more? I can't eat it. Shut up. What's this dude doing? Is he looks like he's staring down women's blouses. Here's that guy, and the two swords of Isaiah 2:4. This three-part work created for an appeal to world peace. Beat your swords into plowshares, right? That's what that is. Yep, that's it. There you go. Swords will be being, okay, there you go. Oh, it's at 636 Fifth Avenue? This motherfucker. You're kidding me, right? This asshole. Hold on. 636 Fifth Avenue. Chariot sculpture. Youth leading industry. There it is. The New York Relief. Okay. That's all right. Let's see. View Waymark Gallery. Let's do this thing. Okay. Come on, man. Give me the whole thing. That's a big buttocks. There you go. Really? That's the best picture of this? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Come on. Images. Youth leading industry is the name of this one. How hard would that be, Glenn? How difficult would that be to just name it? It's okay. Here it is. 636 Fifth Avenue. Thank you, chat room, for helping us all out. Motherfucker. It's even got the address right below it. What a prick. Okay, so there's the guy holding the horses. He's actually on the chariot. And then the children are leading industry, like the purpose of it is to go, okay, so youth leading is Antillo Picarilli, which I believe was one of the names that Chico Marx used in Duck Soup, 1936. Excellent. Shall we look at, let's look into it, kids. Let's, we'll take this tangled patterns thing here. Talk about the youth leading interest. I don't need Pinterest, you assholes. Rockefeller's International, let's see. Shit, okay. Youth leading industry. Obviously, commie propaganda. Youth leading industry is Fifth Avenue sculpture. This is going to drive me crazy. Get to it. All right, there we go. This is the whole thing. All right, now we go. This is the whole thing. So, youth leading industry. Attilio Picarilli. What are you talking about? There is no sanity clause. This bas relief was cast to capture the energy of modern future emerging in Italy. In Italy. The subject matter is neo-Roman and is a typical fascist theme of the 1930s. Youth shall lead the way. It was cast in 45 Pyrex glass blocks, a groundbreaking use of Pyrex as an artistic material. Lit from behind, it is still a highlight of an evening stroll down Fifth Avenue. Attilio Picarilli, what are you talking about? Immigrated to the United States with his parents and 6 brothers in 1887. In 1893, he and his brothers opened an atelier and workshop at 142nd Street in the Bronx. There it is. Okay, it's the business, the center, the Rockefeller Center. Really? That's all we get to you motherfucker. Just tell me about it, you pricks. That's all it says. And that's all. We just get the horse in the guy's hand, and they're just anything not to show the ass. I guess that's what's happening. Yeah, Pyrex is made out of cookware. You could make an omelet on it, which I think is great. You understand about the okay. Rockefeller Center and Picarilli, the Heritage Film Project. Let's see what this is. So stupid. The whole thing is just stupid. Rockefeller Center and the Picarilli watch video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rockefeller Center, where we in Picarilli can watch this thing. Okay, here we go. I like ass and glass and stone, stone and glass and ass. Sorry. I'm gonna get a copyright strike for dead people. I like ass and glass and stone, and there's a naked kid and a couple horses. Dump-a-dump-a-dump-a-do. Music, just says music, just pictures and music. Ah, flappers. Oh, and look above it. I guess. Oh, that's where the naked couple. There you go. So above that, I guess, Glenn, is the torch of liberty that will be lit by the sex of these two. I think this is actually the impetus for the movie Pirates, starring Keira Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of just an amazing, super fun movie. And my buddy Rob and I, what's up, Rob? Rob Fiedler and I used to watch this movie whenever it came on. It was like perpetually on HBO for a period, and it's so good. So for those of you who don't know, it's a comedy, relationship comedy, told like they break the fourth wall and they have these interviews, kind of Annie Hall style. But apparently every time they have sex, something catches fire. It burns the building down, or they knock over a candle, or whatever. And there's all these stories, and it's a sweet story, and I love it, and it's very funny. And I've always loved this one. And if you've never seen Pirates, I highly recommend it. And it has one of the greatest quotes in like indie film history. "You, sir, are the most sublime evil genius since the early oeuvre of Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. No, I insist." So anytime you see me write "I insist" or say "I insist," that's where I got it from. It became a running gag in our household. There you go. Anyways, so Glenn basically is making an excuse for looking at a guy's ass. Okay, Italian sculpture made of glass. Classic Italian fascist, pro-fascist stuff amongst all the other shit that's around there. Okay.
12 or 112, if they're competent, we just want competent.
Also, wait a minute. Shut the fuck up. Can I just say that, like, why are we focusing on that one? Blow this one up. Open image in new tab. That's what why all the fixation? Hey, Glenn, why all the fixation on that other picture when you got the kind of like the two page boys and the ladies, and against a blue paisley like daisy background with golden hair and stuff? This is like straight up Thule Society shit. This is like something a young Adolf Hitler would have on the ceiling of his room over his bed. This is like Nazi whacking material. Why are you not fixating on that one, dummy? How come this one? How come you gotta look at the dude, the two horses in the guy's ass, but this one, Hitler's wet dream, apparently doesn't interest you? All right.
And people, setting the course for us. And that could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be elected. The elected guy is in the chariot. I want that guy just to be.
What are you talking about? It's fascist shit. It's about the strong man. It's about the dominant alpha male. It's not about elected government, you weirdo. Okay, so you're more the horse, I guess.
Really small and really not even in the picture. But
your penis? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to the speech J.D. Vance made this week about AI.
Yeah.
Which we haven't really discussed all that much.
No,
but
we
it was
haven't.
like really encouraging. It was like saying, hey, we're freaking.
No, it wasn't. It was like, safety? Pfft, shut up.
In America here. You know, of course we're going to dominate this industry, obviously.
Yeah.
Do we want it? Yeah. So we're going to take it. And like that, we're not going to.
Yeah, that's not what the speech was. The speech is that too many safety measures are hamstringing innovation in this area. The reality is it's all too late. This is just dumb. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Lose to China. Like it was like it wasn't apologizing for that. It wasn't saying, well, really we should give this technology to everyone because
yeah, nobody's saying that. Not the Europeans. They especially don't want the Chinese to have it, fucking moron.
Everyone needs it.
Everybody's saying, hey, how do we use this without it automatically launching nukes like it's fucking war games, or creating like some sort of factory where it creates this gray ooze of nanobots and it just starts making them and never stops and fills the world with gray goo. That's what they're concerned about.
No, it was just like, no, we're the best at it, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure we're the ones in control of this, because it's not only important for our economy, but also for the nation's security.
And freedom of the world.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Quite honestly.
See what James Cameron came out and said? Normally, I don't care what James Cameron said, but because he's the guy, with Skynet and the Terminator.
Okay, yeah.
He came out and said, I wrote a fictional nightmare. He said, but this time it's not fictional. It's not speculation. It's already happening. That's a quote from him. He said, it's a scarier scenario than what I presented in Terminator 40 years ago, if for no other reason that it's no.
Whoa. whoa, asshole! You can't commend. Oh, fuck this. You can't commend JD Vance's speech on AI and then read this clip because his whole point was fuck safety. Oh, God. Now I got to jump into this dumbass nonsense. All right, hold on. So stupid. Just JD Vance AI speech. By the way, this is only 15 minutes long. Stop. Simmer down. Let me do this. Is this? Where's the whole thing? Encourage the spirit of like grounding, sharing the benefit of technology. Kind of forced service to massive regulations. Okay, yeah. So, and create taking down content. Where is it good? Firms navigating the endless legal compliance. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is pretty close to where he starts.
Or otherwise risking massive fines. Now, for some, the easiest way to avoid the dilemma has been to simply block EU users in the first place. Is this really the future that we want? Ladies and gentlemen, I think the answer for all of us should be no. Now, there's no issue where we worry about more than regulation when it comes to energy. And again, I appreciated the comments of so many at the conference.
Nah, I got to tell you, no, I'm not worried about energy. I'm worried about water, clean water and clean air. You can survive if you have clean water and clean air, even if it takes you a little longer or it's more expensive to travel someplace.
Because they recognize that we stand now at the frontier of an AI industry that is hungry for reliable power and high-quality semiconductors. Yet too many of our friends are deindustrializing on the one hand and chasing reliable power out of their nations and off their grids with the other. The AI future is not going to be won by hand-wringing about safety. Future is not going to be won by hand-wringing about safety. It will be won by building, from reliable power plants to the manufacturing facilities that can produce the chips of the future. Now,
yeah, by the way, Chips and Science Act, anyone? Thanks, Joe Biden. Also, that's the key part of this. That's the whole fucking part of this.
The AI future is not going to be won by hand-wringing about safety. It will be won by building, from reliable power plants to the manufacturing facilities that can produce the chips of the future.
Also, by the way, you can't have reliable power that isn't safe. You also can't develop chips that are unsafe, that have security problems or like don't conduct heat well, for fuck's sake. Right? Okay, so you get my point. So then understand, they were just talking about how that speech was great. Now listen to Glenn's quote from Cameron again and he starts this off with like, I don't normally agree with him, but.
Mayor, he said, but this time it's not fictional, it's not speculation, it's already happening. That's a quote from him. He said, it's a scarier scenario than what I presented in Terminator 40 years ago. If for no other reason that it's no longer science fiction, it's happening right now. You'll be living in a world that you didn't agree to, didn't vote for, are forced to share with a super intelligent entity that wants to follow the goals of a corporation. This entity will have access to your communications, beliefs, everything you have.
Hey, you're starting to understand that fucking sculpture now, aren't you? Maybe there should be the strong guy holding back the industry, those two horses. Do you notice how just the bifurcation of this dipshit's brain? Anybody notice that? Anybody notice just how fucking lame and dysfunctional his thought process is? They just clamor for a moment about how great Vance's speech was, and then he goes to this which blows off safety entirely. And then he goes to this clip going, oh my God, the future's even more scary because this is going to run away with it. And nobody voted for this. And it's just going to take off. And the entirety of that Vance speech is, look, you can't be safe about it. So why even fucking try? Just throw off all the reins of safety entirely and just let it run. That's what he's arguing. Meanwhile, he comes back and he's pushing this forward. And then that sculpture itself about government having a bit in the mouth of industry to make sure that it doesn't outrun the chariot, blow it up, or run the fucking kids over. This dipshit is actually for that sculpture. Like, he's making the case right here for that sculpture.
Ever said, and the whereabouts of every person in the country through personal data.
Right, which is why we have a problem with Elon Musk looking into everybody's shit and having access to it so that he can just feed it into Grok and take everybody's information. You're so close to it, dipshit. You're so fucking close to it.
He said its ability to predict and influence human behavior. This is surveillance capitalism. And surveillance capitalism can toggle pretty quickly into digital totalitarianism. This is the hard place, is I don't want the government to own it, but I also don't trust corporations to own it.
I trust corporations more than I trust the government.
Why? You actually have a say in who runs your government, stupid. You actually can vote and change the leadership of your government. You have no say in the board of a corporation unless you're a major stakeholder, which, Stu, you are not.
I do. That one's not a tough decision for me. I understand.
That's because you're stupid, Stu. Hey, you can't spell stupid without Stu. And yeah, you're an idiot. This is fucking lame. This is dumb. Which company are you talking about, by the way? Here's a good idea. Somebody needs to be sitting there and go, BlackRock. And, well, obviously not them. Moderna, Pfizer. How about them? What if they run it? Do you trust the government more now? Donald Trump runs the government. You seem to like him. But you'd rather a company with the exact same aims technologically that Pfizer has as far as pharmaceuticals, that you trust.
And I feel like it's a little...
Yeah, right. Enron. How about that? How about that? Bill Gates, Microsoft. Yep.
More difficult than maybe conservatives felt at one point.
I mean, I distrust them equally. It's not like I trust one more than the other. I distrust both.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't give... And also, if it doesn't impact your actions, who gives a fuck? Right? I don't care who you trust or don't trust if it doesn't change your actions. You think his distrust of corporations is going to stop him from buying food from a chain restaurant like Sonic? Nope. You think it's going to stop him from buying regular groceries from a grocery store that's owned by a big corporation and a big agribusiness company that processes the food? Nope. This is, and then of course, you don't trust the government. I don't trust the government at all. Oh yeah. So you think the military are full of people who will let the Chinese or the Russians win? Is that the idea? No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Have you flown in an airplane lately? You obviously, I don't know how much you should right now, but you obviously trust the FAA. You trust fucking stoplights every time you drive across the fucking city. It's a lie. You absolutely trust these things. But it doesn't sound cool to go, I got my issues with, some of these things make me nervous sometimes, because you sound like a wuss. But if you go, I don't trust anybody, you sound like I don't know, like you're fucking nihilist in The Big Lebowski. We believe in nothing, Lebowski.
I trust corporations more, and the reason is that there's actual competition between them, and it's not. I don't trust any individual.
For what? Competition for what? Your money, your eyeballs, your data. The government is not competing with those organizations for your data.
Individual corporation necessarily, but like the impacts of the market, I think, generally speaking, lead us to good things. But that it's up for debate.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the mRNA vaccines are cheaper, easier to produce. You can modify them. So obviously, he trusts Pfizer and Moderna right out of the box. Like, look, they're Moderna, and Pfizer are competing with each other. So Stu believes in, that competition is healthy. And so he feels like he can trust both vaccines. Right. Okay. You see where I'm going with this?
Of course. I mean, the problem here is you sort of have to choose one path or another. And I can tell you, I do not want centralized control of AI.
No.
Do I want guardrails?
Okay. Again, nobody's talking about centralized control of AI, stupid. And again, it's too late for guardrails.
Around it for national security purposes, sure. But when it comes to whether I don't love tech companies, for example, I think,
No, fuck you. You don't get to back out now and go, I'm not crazy about tech companies. You said you trust them more than you trust the government. In for a penny, in for a pound, dipshit.
There's been a lot of good things, but there's been a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
That being said, the difference between that and the government is, to me, there's a pretty bright line there.
I have to tell you that, if you look at what's happening in Europe and Canada, I mean, did you hear that Canada, they are now trying to pass a bill that you can go to prison if you say anything favorable about oil, gas, or coal? Go to jail.
That's sensible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to call bullshit. Yeah, it's just dumb. Horseshit. Yeah.
That's going to work out really well, isn't it?
I mean, these are products that have built our civilization.
Exactly.
Also, again, just bullshit. Hold on. Canadian law, oil, gas, jail, favorable. A private member's bill tabled by the NDP MP in the House of Commons aims to criminalize the promotion of fossil fuels, including statements favorable to the oil and gas industry. The bill could potentially apply to any statement that suggests that natural gas has fewer emissions than coal and prescribe jail time for such. Since it's a Canadian bill, this is what they're talking about. One member puts this on the floor and it was tabled. Didn't go anywhere. Again, a bill introduced in the Canadian House of Commons. Yeah, okay. Again, a single member, Charlie Angus, a member of the Canadian Parliament and the New Democratic Party, said in a statement that the bill would make illegal false advertising by the oil and gas industry. The big tobacco moment has arrived. We know that big oil has done for years of misinformation and interference and false claims about the damage it's doing to the planet, but it's also killing people. The preamble of the bill blames multiple examples of bad weather on the fossil fuel industry and compares it to products which are the basis of 80% of the blah, blah, blah. According to the National Post, here we go. NDP bill, go away. Okay. Cancel. Go away. NDP bill would prescribe jail terms for speaking well of fossil fuels. This is from the National Post. C-372, also known as the Fossil Fuel Advertising Act, I guess it means it isn't just talking about it, was tabled Monday as a private member's bill by NDP MP Charlie Angus. Today, I'm proud to rise and introduce a bill that would make illegal false advertising by the oil and gas industry. He added that the oil and gas sector was trafficking in disinformation and killing people. Angus also twice framed his bill as the dawn of the industry's big tobacco moment. Bill 37 goes well beyond merely banning advertising. As a private member's bill introduced by the member of the party with only 25 seats in the House of Commons, it also has zero chance of passing. but as written, the act would technically apply to any Canadian who is found to be speaking well of the oil industry or of oil generation. It is prohibited for a person to promote a fossil fuel related brand element, or the production of fossil fuel, reads the act. Violate this as a regular citizen. The act prescribes summary conviction, a fine of up to $500,000. So again, the Canadians aren't going to pass this bill. Then, like a single member of parliament put it up for markup and all that kind of shit, and whatever.
Exactly right.
Like that's
you can't run. Not just built it in the past.
Currently,
we can't live without any of that stuff.
Nope. And they're like, oh, you can't even talk about it positively.
That's crazy.
No, not they. He, a person.
It's basically crazy about everything, let alone something that's been really positive to our world.
Also, Linda McMahon, yesterday, she talked about in her confirmation hearing, she said, fund educational freedom, not government-run systems. This is her plan.
Bam.
Listen to the parents, not the politicians. Build up careers,
Boom.
not college debt. Empower states, not special interest. Invest in teachers, not Washington.
What, she just flipped through a bunch of charter school bumper stickers?
And bureaucrats. November proved that.
I would like to remind everybody that the name of this video is the major difference between the Trump and Biden economies.
Americans overwhelmingly support the president's vision, and I'm ready to enact it. Education is an issue that determines our national success and prepares American workers to win the future. The legacy of our nation's leadership and education is one that every person in this room embraces with pride. Unfortunately, many Americans today are experiencing a system in decline.
Well, yeah, honestly, you wouldn't have any viewers if they didn't, Glenn.
I don't know how you argue about against these things. I really don't.
Well, I don't have to. They're nonsensical. They are vaporware. You might as well be saying Coke is life.
We all know our schools are failing like crazy. And she was asked.
No, they aren't. Our schools are not failing. Red states are failing so bad they are dragging down the test scores of other states.
Does that mean you're going to cut off?
And by the way, hold on. Let's do this again, because this drives me fucking crazy. Let's see. Spending by student, by states, outcomes, U.S. Something like that. Hold on. Let's see what this is. Helios, winners and losers of public school funding. I'm trying to look for a chart that shows you this. Regional disparities. There you go. Per student spending in 2023. Top 10 states by per pupil spending in 2023. Because of the varied formulas determine the state education budget, per pupil spending varies greatly across the country. The states below, however, had the highest per pupil spending in 2023. Vermont, New Jersey, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Delaware, Rhode Island, Alaska, Hawaii, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. These are the single ones. Vermont's education finance system emphasizes local control of school boards, setting their budgets and then turning them over to the voters to approve. That state also relies on property taxes and other taxes to fund schools. New Jersey's School Funding Reform Act of 2008 was put in place to ensure that lower income school districts had equitable access to state resources. Per student spending, dollar change from 2022 to 2023. There you go. And it should come as no surprise that the states that are spending the least are shitting the bed. West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama. Largest increases: Hawaii, New Mexico, Delaware, California, Michigan, Vermont, Colorado, Oregon, Rhode Island, New Jersey. There we go. Now, let's take a look at, let's see, school per pupil success rate by state, U.S. Okay. Do 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 do. Where is that? Okay. trying to do this ranking. What are you doing? What? Overall ranking by state. Okay. Here you go. Here's by states. Massachusetts, best public schools. 48.8% ranked in the top 25. Connecticut, New Jersey, Virginia, right around because of D.C. New Hampshire, Maryland, Delaware, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Vermont. Those are the top 10. Here's the 50 states. Overall ranking, school quality, student safety, student success. There we go. And then we go all the way down. See what do we have there. Arizona, 50th. Louisiana, Nevada's at 48th. Like these cities with these states with 3 cities are a lot of fun. New Mexico, Alabama, South Carolina, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Florida, Tennessee. There's California, which is, of course, a half desert and half other cities. It's split right in half. Mississippi, Texas, Utah, Hawaii. Okay, so the bottom part of this, what do you think the Trump voter turnout is in the bottom 10? Also, how much you spend per student often is how well your students do by comparison.
The funds for schools that need, help because they're in low tax base. No, we'll still help those.
Will you? How? If you don't have the Department of Education and Trump wants to shut it down, you guys are talking about shutting it down. How are you going to get the money to them? Pork? You going to add that to the budget? So states, again, that pay for their schools through local taxes and the like are going to use those they're going to subsidize your voucher program when there's no federal system. How do you do federal vouchers and spread the money out over a bunch of states if you don't have the Department of Education? I'll wait.
But we're going to get rid of all of this crap that you're required to do to get any of that money.
You mean test the kids and make sure they're actually learning?
They have to be run. The classrooms need to be run by the parents and the teachers locally, not some bureaucrats in.
They already are.
Washington, D.C.
They already are.
Yeah, and McMahon's a real advocate for school choice. This is an
Yeah, she homeschool choice.
I mean, we have a real opportunity to make a massive difference for.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to raise the test scores and the quality of education in the United States? Stop including Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, the eastern part of California, like West Virginia. Like, stop including those. Oklahoma, Idaho. Just stop adding them to the numbers. They'll buoy right the fuck up. America will be in the top 5 instantly.
Millions of children in this 4-year period. And it's really exciting. Even here in Texas, where we had an election, we talked about the House Speaker situation, who did not go the way that conservatives were hoping here in Texas. But at least as of today, Burrows, who's the guy who is not the more conservative option, is claiming that they are going to go forward with school choice in Texas. We're at the point that now even, what you might call, the rhino contingency is like, okay, yeah, we'll do that.
First of all, the quote-unquote rhinos, like conservatives have wanted this for a long time, largely because they want to pay for religious schools. They want Christian schools to be paid for by the state. They want to allow you to take your money out of the public school system, get a voucher, and pay for a religious school of your choice. That's what they want. No matter what the standards are, and they want to subsidize it. And you know why they want to subsidize it with that money, that public school money? Because these schools can't stand on their own.
It's incredible, Glenn. We've been talking about this policy for 20 years. And,
longer than that.
Longer than that, but as long as the show's been on the air, we've been discussing it as this sort of like pie in the sky. Hey, maybe that will have vouchers. Like it was this thing that would never occur, and all of a sudden it's occurring all over the country.
So here's what concerns me is Donald Trump. I love these people who are coming out from the Democratic side saying, "Oh, have you checked inflation?"
Yeah, day one, I think he said, right away, immediately, big, beautiful.
No, there is no inflation. This is the greatest economy ever. What are you talking about? The Bidenflation is, the work against inflation that Biden has been doing, Bidenomics, that's working. It's the greatest thing ever. I can't believe people who told us for 4 years there was no such thing as inflation are now crying, the inflation numbers. And I'm happy to say that our president is saying, yes, inflation it's going to go up and it's going to be.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
Hard, and we're working.
There you go. Right on, Glenn. There you go. It's going to go up and it's going to be hard. I'm sorry to all the maggots in the chat room. Please enjoy this little turd nugget from Glenn and Stu, and apparently straight out of Donald Trump's butthole right onto his tongue. Nobody was saying that inflation didn't happen, but that it wasn't monetary inflation caused by overspending. It was largely supply shock. And in the case of eggs, it was because of avian flu. And these guys lied to you and told you that it was because money printer go burr, and we spent all this money and we put too much money in circulation and we got all this debt. And that's why the egg prices are so high. And then they come in and the egg prices go up by a lot. And they're like, well, they're doing news reports on Fox News. Well, I gotta say, people need to be careful when they're buying eggs right now because avian flu, it hasn't passed to mammals or to humans yet, but we're concerned that it will, and blah blah blah. Like now they're talking about it sensibly in this. This is what I played that clip from Fox News the other day, where like once these assholes are in a position of actual responsibility, they start talking like the Democrats they derided because there was no magic fix. He didn't roll in and go, oh, I got it. It's all good. The price is just cadavered. Look at that. Eggs for everybody. And it didn't happen. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to. The issue isn't whether or not the prices of things have gone up. The issue is that Donald Trump promised not only would they come down, they'd come back down quickly and immediately because it was just who was running things and how stupid they were is what caused this. Meanwhile, hold on.
5 eggs.
Later on, we end up with this dipshit going, well, it's going to be, it's going to be hard. Let's hear that again, kids.
It's the greatest thing ever. I can't believe people who told us for 4 years there was no such thing as inflation are now crying, the inflation numbers. And I'm happy to say that our president is saying, yes, inflation is.
Are you happy to say it?
It's going to go up and it's going to be hard, and we're working to reverse that. He's at least recognizing the reality of the situation, and it.
You mean like by passing something called the Inflation Reduction Act, which actively brought down inflation during that period of time? Or the fact that they're rescinding a bunch of the spending that specifically would go about doing that?
Is going to go up and get worse before it gets better. We talked about this before. November.
Did you?
It's concerning, though.
It is concerning.
I don't know that we talked about it enough. Maybe we should go back in time.
Because if it look, think about the average person. They don't.
Yeah, these stupid fuckers from these lame schools in Texas. You're screwed.
They're not sitting here like you are listening to, a bunch of talk radio and thinking about these issues.
Sorry, that's what Glenn does every day? He sits there listening to talk radio and thinking? Maybe he should do more thinking and less listening to talk radio.
These prices go up and they continue to, if it feels like Biden, they won't care what else is going.
That's right. But the difference is Biden didn't promise him it was magically going to evaporate. And he worked to pass bills that would solve this issue with wages going up and the like. But Trump came in and said, day fucking one, it's all going to be big and beautiful and gone. I'm going to fix it. And it's only happening because they're so stupid. And if they were smart like me, the prices would come down quickly and we'll do it in fast. And interest rates were going to come down and gas prices are going to come down and groceries, what the fuck are groceries? The price of groceries, whatever the shit that is, would come down, right? That was the story. We didn't make him say that. Democrats didn't make him say that. He lied to you, and you lied on his behalf.
Gone. You've got a very short runway with, hey, there's going to be some pain here. You just need to take it, and it'll get better later. That can work. Worked with Reagan, I would argue. I mean, the early. Remember, inflation in 80.
Yeah. But when Reagan was president, people were still kind of sane about the political process. And we had a common enemy in the Russians. We at least recognized the common enemy in the Russians.
182 was really high, and then it came down and everything was fine, and he won in a landslide. So it's possible to turn it around, but
No, because that one was strictly caused by policy and able to be reversed by policy. This is because Trump lied about COVID, continued to lie all during the Biden presidency about the impacts of that disease and the impact it had on the fucking planet and the cost it would take to shorten supply chains and the fact that it wasn't inflation at all, it was supply shock. And now, and then he sold everybody a bill of goods when he was running, saying, "I'll fix this and quick." It's his fucking bed. He has to lie in it.
it's a tough tight wire walk.
You know, I'm looking at the price of gold. What is the price of gold? It's almost $3,000.
Okay. By the way, so just so you know, the price of gold is a panic point. That's when people buy gold as a hedge against inflation. Is the idea that they're going to invest in this because that's when the price of gold goes up, it's because assholes like Glenn Beck are convincing people the world is going to end. And when it starts to go up a lot, this is not a good thing. Just letting you know. Even if you're invested in gold, you're like, hey, this is great. But the reason it goes up, the emotional reason, the investment reason it goes up is not good.
Ounce. It was yesterday. It was 29.61.
Wow.
I'm looking for that.
Yeah. See, and I here's the thing. This motherfucker has gold investments. So does Stu. I have no doubt. Probably Glenn definitely has a lot more. But these assholes think this is like gold is real money. That horse shit. It's a pretty rock. And we're this close to being able to like basically have AI alchemy and make gold. So when that happens, holy shit. When they do to gold what's happened to diamonds in a metallurgical sense, it's fucking over for these assholes. They will not know how to, because then your entire life will be based on the worth and value you bring to society, and they got nothing.
Because this is the 7th weekly gain on gold.
Stu is either very upset or yawning. I'm going with yawning.
And it has something to do with it.
That was a yawn. It was a yawn. He was doing one of those.
The trade war, but also something else is happening with gold, and we're not sure exactly what it is.
Yeah. Why aren't you sure? Because before, when Biden was in and the price of gold went up, you knew what it meant. It meant people were using it as a hedge against inflation, that people were becoming very distrustful, that they were very afraid of that there was going to be a lot of volatility and that the market was going to crash and there was a safety in having gold, right? That's what it means when Biden's in office. But all the fucking sudden, now that Trump's in office, it's very confusing. I don't even know why it would be doing this. Jeez.
But it looks as though some people are thinking that we're going to go back and revalue all of our gold, which would be good if you had gold. Really good if you
go back and revalue all our gold. Is that a sentence? Is that supposed to make sense? Go back and revalue all our gold?
had gold. But it's going to cause problems because of the dollar getting stronger, et cetera, et cetera. It's the cure is.
Oh my fucking God. Like, he's just talking out of his ass at this point. He's just talking out of his ass. Just enjoy it, kids. Enjoy it, because again, all the education stuff they were just talking about, it's going to fuck up red states. If you're in a blue state, I would take care to protect your educational system there. The states will become more responsible for it. If you're in a red state, look for a trend or a moment where you can start running for school board or running for office in your state so that you can turn around the wreck of the education system that these guys are about to oversee. This is just blather.
It's not going to be worse than the disease, but the cure is going to make it seem as though the disease is getting.
Listen to this motherfucker. Listen to him covering Trump's ass. That's what this is. Oh my fucking God.
Good if you had gold, really good if you had gold, but it's going to cause problems because of the dollar getting stronger, et cetera, et
Sure.
cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Cure is not going to be worse than the disease, but the cure is going to make it seem as though the disease is getting worse before it gets better.
Jesus, what a bailout. Look at the tail end of this shit. Like, oh, cut right there. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sometimes you can tell, by the way, I would like to say that might have been just like, news malpractice by Glenn. We see this shit all the time. And sometimes he just has to keep talking until he gets to the break. And he's trying to like yammer to get to the hard break. And that's where they cut off when he's doing the show. Jesus Christ. Just the fucking lazy, ignorant bullshit. I can't believe I only got like through a couple of these things. Jesus. But I'm very proud of us. It was a pretty good show tonight, if I do say so my damn self. Hit that like, by the way, share the show. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I have to go and I'm getting more I'm doing cryotherapy, and I'm also doing my barometric pressure, the oxygen chamber thing again. Very exciting. I'll post a picture from inside the pod. It's pretty hilarious. Like, it's not one of the big fancy ones like Michael Jackson slept in. It's just kind of like a giant sleeping bag they fill with it's like airtight. Yeah, for real. And they put the little oxygen things in your nose, and then you just lay there for an hour, and it forces the oxygen into your cells so that it helps my shoulder heal. Because I still have like the top of this muscle is fine and the bottom of the muscle is fucked up because the tricep disengaged. So there's like this chain of shit that I'm trying to heal in my arm. And again, I have complete flexibility, and I've got a lot of all the strength essentially of it, except at very weird angles because it disengages. It's a very strange thing. Anyway, so yeah, luckily I don't smoke, otherwise, boom. But anyways, this is supposed to help with that. So yeah, shoulder injuries just fucking suck, Soda. Yeah. So anyways, thank you guys so much. And let's see. Oh my goodness, thank you for the super chat, Peter. Have you seen the Van Halen 50 style versions? Yes, the AI ones that people are doing. I've seen a bunch of those things. Type in, and Boston Brian, thank you for the 636 Fifth Avenue note. I appreciate that. You can always just, maybe you did text me. I don't know. Hold on. But I will. I'll let you guys know how that is tomorrow after the show. It's pretty fascinating. I got to say, it's a good time. And I hear, I don't know if this is true, but I hear it's good for the kidneys.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Oh no! Is that true? Does anybody know? Is that true, you guys? That concerns me. Thank you guys so much. Big shout out to Samantha Powers and all the lies being told against her.